see you. Hi, Don. I don't think that's part of the service.
service. That's it. Right. Ah! What just happened? Shoot. Yes. Sorry. Uh-huh. Right. Yeah, she's performing Thanksgiving weekend in Chicago, I think. Yeah, she and the Goyles. No, they're not in Chicago. Where are they? They're at, hold on. They're not in Chicago. Maybe in Boston. I can't remember. With Natalie Hershtik, I think is who they're doing a concert for.
Well, I think also, I mean, this piece is going to wind up being
I can't believe I just did this. Turned off my computer accidentally because I was flipping it the other way. Anyway.
the actual online event where the piece will get premiered is the 21st or something like that.
Okay.
But then the following week we get into Hanukkah, and then Tuesday seems to be like it's going to happen. Tali's busy, she can't make it, but I'm going to wind up playing, and we're going to do it. Hillary Chorney asked us to do it at an event up at Temple Beth.
How nice.
And Rachel, I think, is going to be there for that, so we'll actually do it live.
Sweet.
Once I actually have the run thing
What is this called?
I'll send you a copy.
Yes, please. I'd love to see it. All right. I completely screwed things up. No, it's okay. You're fine. I just completely screwed things up on my computer. Hate when that happens. Go away. All you other things that I don't want. I know, it's a great tune. All right, now let me get back into Shabbat services. Drives me crazy. Yeah. What is this doing? It's not liking me. Ah, I know why. Oh, the power button on my computer is evidently on this side, and when I put it up against the railing, it turns off. Twice! Not just once, but twice. Just so I can see what's going on, that's all. I'm actually not using it for anything, I'm using it for nothing, thank God. Thank God. It's like such a heavenly thing to use. Have you met this? Because I haven't seen this in months, I feel like. It's so nice to use a Siddur tonight. I just don't even know. Don't know when.
You're still okay for the moment. It's like 3 strikes and you're out.
I'm telling you, this is ridiculous. I'm going to put this guy up here so I don't.
There was the night where my camera didn't turn on, and I couldn't figure out why. I didn't realize it was a camera off thing that I had accidentally turned on.
Oh my
I was
gosh.
like, I guess I don't have a camera. Something must be wrong with my computer. Nope, it was me.
And I literally, I also went over there and said, there must be a switch for your camera. We could not find it. It was like, we just couldn't find it. It didn't exist for a minute or 10. So annoying.
And it was so obviously there.
I love it. How are you two? It is so good to see you. It's good to be seen, let me tell you. Oh, man.
All these skills you had to learn. You do quite well. Yeah, it's been working out really well with the technology. You know, you never know when you try something new like that. But it's not me, it's the technology.
And we always stick to that because when it doesn't work, we don't want you to blame us. It's not our fault. It is the technology. Oh, wonderful. Welcome. Shabbat shalom. All right. Now, once I do this, I kept thinking it was because I was laying it down, which shouldn't be doing it, and then I realized that I was bumping it into the... Okay, those are muted. That is muted. And that is spotlit. We're all good.
Hi everyone, so good to see you all. Shabbat shalom. Nice seeing a smile on your face, Doug. It feels like it's really cold. Maybe it's just me.
It feels really cool. Is that what you're
Yeah. Maybe it's just me. Because I'm dressed for summer. It could be me. That's true. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Hi Renee, good to see you. Shabbat shalom.
Take off my jacket and you don't recognize me? I know. That's why I was rushing to take it off because I was walking, clicking on there. Bob, if you can start noodling, I would love it.
So for everyone online tonight, we are going to not be using slides to show the service. Rather, we encourage you to use your own prayer book or to go to this link where you'll be able to find the prayer book. Doug is all prepared. Or you can just follow along. We're trying something different on this 5th Shabbat of the month, and we look forward to hearing your feedback afterwards about what you prefer. Hi, Michael. Shabbat shalom.
God, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, and with thanksgiving I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Ozi vesimrat yah vayehi lishua. Ozi vesimrat yah vayehi lishua. God, prepare me to be a sanctuary. God, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, pure and holy, tried and true, and with thanksgiving I'll be a living, with thanksgiving I'll be a living sanctuary for you, sanctuary for you.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom, Rabbi.
It is so good to be with all of you who are here in person, friends that we've known for decades, new friends that we're meeting tonight. For all of you who are online, thank you so much. Even if you might not be present physically in this room, your presence is certainly felt. And I hope that everyone online feels the presence of everyone who is in the sanctuary in person as well. I'd like to begin in our prayer books, and I know how most Shabbat services, we've had slides on the screen and slides on Zoom with all of the prayers. Because this happens to be the 5th Shabbat of the month, we decided to try something a little different so we can get feedback from everyone. So we're going to be using our prayer books. I know, it's amazing, right? So everyone who's online, I'm going to put the link in once more for anyone who wants to get to a free version of the prayer book to follow along. And I'd like to begin with a reading that's on page 124. We enter this sanctuary to welcome Shabbat. Within these walls, we sit surrounded by numberless generations. Our ancestors built the synagogue as a visible sign of God's presence in their midst. Throughout our long history and our endless wanderings, it has endured, a beacon of truth, love, and justice for all humanity. Its presence guided our ancestors to lives of righteousness, holding up to them a vision of their truest selves. Now we, in our turn, come into the sanctuary to affirm the sacredness of our lives. May we enter this place in peace. May holiness wrap around us as we cross its threshold. Weariness, doubt, the flaws within our human hearts, the harshness of the weak, let those drop away at the door. In the brightness of Shabbat, let peace settle upon us as we lift our hearts in prayer. We are going to light our Shabbat candles, welcoming in this holy day. And I'd love to invite up Jim and Diane Schneer to lead us in this blessing. Many of us had the absolute privilege of learning from Jim this past Sunday as he talked about the Hebrew calendar and different Torah portions. And so it's a pleasure to be able to give you this honor tonight. Page 120.
Asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav itzivanu lahadit ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you so much. We continue with Kabbalat Shabbat, the songs of welcoming in Shabbat, on page 130. And as we welcome in Shabbat, let us also welcome in one another by sending virtual hugs around the room, by everyone who's on Zoom, sending messages to our friends as a warm welcome.
Let us sing out to God a new song. Let us sing out to God a new song. Yai lai la lai 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 la lai. Yai lai la lai 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 lai. Yai lai la lai 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 la lai lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Lechu neranena l'Adonai, nari'a letzur yishenu, nekadma fanav betodah, bizmir od nari'a lo, bizmir od nari'a lo. Let us sing out to God a new song. Let us sing out to God a new song. Yai lai la lai la lai lai la lai. Yai lai la lai 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 lai. Yai lai la lai 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 la lai lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. We continue in welcoming Shabbat by singing a new song, Shir Adonai, Shir Chadash, page 131. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz. Sing unto God all the earth a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God and we'll all sing along. All the earth a new song unto God. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru shiru l'Adonai shir chadash. I will sing unto God a new song.
We turn to page 138 for Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Erev Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Erev Shabbat nekabela. Shamor וזכור בדיבורך, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה לך דודי. לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. We invite you to stand in person or in spirit as we face the doors through which we entered and welcome the Shabbat bride. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לך דודי, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
I love the Shabbat spirit in this room right now. How wonderful is that? And so it's a great entree into our call to worship, the Baruch Hu, which you can find on page 146.
Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, Le'olam va'ed, Le'olam va'ed.
Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la la la.
We turn to page 149. This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai Hama'ariv Arabim.
אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, עמך אהבת. תורה ומצוות,
אלוקיך, ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד, כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגה יומם ולילה, נגה יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים, ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל, אוהב עמו ישראל.
Page 152.
שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. 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 ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד.
You may be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
On the bottom of page 156. All this we hold to be true and trustworthy for us. You alone are our God, and we are Israel, your people. You are our sovereign and Savior who delivers us from oppressors' hands and saves us from tyrants' fists. You work wonders without number, marvels beyond count. You give us life, steady our footsteps. You perform miracles for us before Pharaoh, signs and wonders in the land of the Egyptians. You led your people Israel out from their midst to freedom for all time. When your children witnessed your dominance, they praised your name in gratitude, and they accepted your sovereignty. Moses, Miriam, and all Israel sang to you together, lifting their voices joyously. 158.
Who is like you, Adonai? ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osefele, nora tehilot osefele. מלכותך רעו פניך בוקי הים, לפני משה ומרים זה אלי, אנו ואמרו זה אלי, אנו ואמרו ונאמר כי בד אדוני את יעקב ויעלון מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
God, as the night falls and darkness surrounds us all, may we feel comforted by your embrace. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. We continue with Hashkivenu, page 160.
הפורש סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים.
We are commanded to guard the Sabbath day and keep it holy on page 162 as we continue with these words of Vishamru.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדוד המרית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדוד המרית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת
I just want to quickly commend Steve Morris over there online, whose hand motions brought so much extra meaning to our prayer about Shabbat. So thank you for adding that bit of kavanah for all of us. Nachman of Bratslav once taught that every word of one's prayer should be like a rose that is picked from a bush. One gathers rose upon rose until a bouquet is formed and can be offered to God as a beautiful blessing. Right now, as we turn to the Amidah, we prepare to offer that bouquet to God. I invite you to rise in body or in spirit. We're on page 164.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid ilatecha. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid ilatecha. Yalla lai lai lai, 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 lai lai lai, yalla lai lai lai, yalla lai lai lai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu ve'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim ve'Konei Hakol ve'Zocher Chasdei Avot ve'Imahot ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor leolam Adonai, Mechaye hakol atah rav lehoshia. Mashiv haruach umorid hagashem. Mechalkel chayim bechesed. Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim. Somech noflim verofech holim. Umatir asurim. Umekayem emunato lishenei afar. Michamocha bal gevurot. Umido melach. Melech meimit umechayeh. Umatzmiach Yeshua, v'neman atal hachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kdoshim b'chol yom, yalelucha sela. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
I invite you to continue. I invite you to continue with the prayers in our book through page 180, or the meditations of your heart, and when you feel ready to do so, I invite you to be seated.
רצונים רפים והגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי וגואלי For may the words of my mouth, the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, Adonai, my rock and my redeemer.
This week's Torah portion might be called Chaye Sarah, the life of Sarah, but it begins with her death. Last week's Torah portion ended, leaving us off on a cliffhanger after the challenging story of the Akedah, where Abraham nearly sacrificed Isaac, his son, on the altar. Because of the close proximity of the Akedah and Sarah's death, some rabbis argue that Sarah died of grief after learning of the tragedy that nearly befell her son. Isaac is bereft. He disappears. In fact, Isaac does not say a single word in the Torah from the moment that Abraham places him on the altar until he falls in love with his wife, Rebekah, who knows how long later. After tragedy, he does not know how to respond. He does not know the words to speak. 3 years ago, we perhaps had a similar feeling. After we heard of the horrific news of the shooting of the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh, which happened almost exactly 3 years ago. How can we make sense of such hatred and such truly unnecessary loss of life? When faced with tragedy, how do we respond? How do we move forward? How do we find the words? In her Torah commentary on the portion, my classmate, Rabbi Jennifer Gubitz, presents a midrash about Isaac and Hagar's reunion. Hagar was Abraham's concubine, and Hagar hadn't seen Isaac in decades. It took a minute to recognize the man that he had become. When they finally did recognize one another, Hagar asks, "How are you, my boy?" Of course, he wasn't a boy any longer, but in her mind, the last time he had seen him, he was but a small child. They recalled, in fact, the last time that they saw one another, as Abraham had sent away Hagar and Ishmael to go into the wilderness, not knowing what would become of them. And Isaac wailed, wanting to be near his brother Ishmael. Hagar never thought that she would see him again, and here he was telling all about his life, how Abraham nearly sacrificed him, how his mother had died at far too young an age. And Hagar turns to him and says, "How did you do it? After all those things that you have been through, after all of these trials, how did you make it through? And how did your soul become whole again?" After all the trials and hardships of life, after acts of hatred, after intense grief, how do we become whole? How do we find meaning even in the tragedy? The sages pose that Isaac was able to find strength, perhaps through prayer and meditation, through study of Torah, and taking the time to immerse himself in a community of learners and of seekers. He took time to try to understand not only that which was going on in his life, but also how he could find inner peace even amidst the swirling and unpredictable storms of life. Isaac knew that he could not move forward without addressing his heartache. He knew that he did not want to devote his life to anger or to victimhood or to lamenting that the world in which he lives was too far from perfect. The Akedah had scarred him, but he was determined not to allow it to define him. He wanted to be whole. In other words, he was striving to find equanimity. And for those of you in Torah study, when we discussed this past Thursday, a lot of this might sound really familiar. So equanimity is defined by 3 separate terms in Judaism. Menuchat hanefesh, which means a calmness of the soul. Yeshuv hadat, which means a settled mind. And shalva, which means serenity. It is, in the words of Musar teacher Alan Marinas, an inner balance that coexists with the world and an experience that accepts turbulence and even turmoil, because that's the way that life is. Isaac's development of equanimity does not smooth over his past experiences or lead him to a future without pain, trial, or suffering, explains Rabbi Gubitz. Rather, it is the practice of the midah of equanimity as a constant journey and spiritual exercise that brings understanding and even peace. A person who has mastered peace of mind has gained everything, teaches Rabbi Simcha Zizl-Ziv. Man's greatest triumph, adds Bertrand Russell, is to achieve stability and inner repose in a world of shifting threats and terrifying change. My friends, we know all too well the ebbs and the flows and the ups and downs of life. At times of challenge, we, like Isaac, may find ourselves in need of retreat, or we may be comforted by community. A couple of days ago, I received a text from a colleague. Our friend, Pastor Lisa Williams of the Methodist Church, reached out to me and said, I know this week is the anniversary of the Pittsburgh shooting, and I want you to know that there are people in our community who have come up to me and said, I hope the Jewish community is doing okay right now. I want to make sure they know that we are there for them. It's one of the ways that we can surround ourselves with that love and that support. But the greatest message from this Torah portion, I believe, is not in Isaac's words, but in his deeds. His ability to take the time for self-reflection and self-care. Hagar asked him how he was able to overcome everything in his life and still be whole. It was possible because he worked at it, and he worked hard. He got help. He got support. He took the time that he needed to heal. So too, when we struggle, may we gift ourselves the time and the support and the love that we need so that we too can develop equanimity, a stronger inner core giving us the strength to weather even tough storms. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may this be God's will. We're going to pause for a moment in our service, as we do every week, in order to offer a prayer to people who perhaps are weathering tough storms right now, people who are in need of healing of mind, healing of body, or healing of spirit. And I want to invite everyone who is online to write the names of anyone who's in your prayers this evening, who is in need of this prayer. And as I go around the room, as my arm goes around the room, I invite you to say aloud the names of anyone for whom you'd like to offer this prayer. For all the people whose names we've said out loud, for all the people whose names we hold in our hearts, let us offer our Misha Berach prayer, which we can find in our book.
Page 371.
Thank you.
May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Shebeirach imotenu Mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Baruch atah Adonai, Rofeh HaCholim. Blessed are you, God, whose healing spirit is with all of those in need. And we all say, Amen.
Amen. We also take a moment to remember people who have died in recent days or at this time in years past. But before I go to that reading, I want to bring in a poem written by my friend Alden Salavi after the Tree of Life shooting. He wrote, "Tree of life, revive our souls, enrich our days. Entreating your blessings, O God of peace, fill our hearts with comfort, letting your Torah shine into the fullness of our love. Faith in you, our God, eternal source of blessings. Praying for healing in the depths of despair, thanking God for the survivors, thanking God for the first responders. Sorrow crushing our hearts, bereaved beyond belief, united in our love, returning to you in faith. God of Israel, healer of generations. Tree of life, redeemer of Israel, enliven this moment with healing, enliven this moment with hope. O Rock of Israel, forget not the Jews of Pittsburgh. Let your love flow in the days ahead for justice and peace everlasting." And of course, we can add to that a prayer for peace in the days and the years ahead, in the hopes that nothing like this happens again. This week, we are remembering people who have died within the past few weeks. Carl Muchenik, Linda Lester, Adam Summerstein, and Amichai Ben David. We are also observing the yahrzeits of Robert Abrams, Mario Baptista, Dara Becker, Morris Binstein, Lillian Blatt, Sadie Simon Blinder, Anna Bodner, Sylvia Braverman, Dorothy Brown, Harold Beyer, Julian Cartier, Jack Cohen, Burton Cohn, Sally Davidson, Ruth Ettinger, June Eve, Nathaniel Norman Frumas, Lynn Gerson, Alex Glassman, Joseph Gottfried, Elaine Grove, Eileen Harris Jordan, Beulah Israel, Lawrence Israel, Barbara Jacobs, Chaim Christner, Boris Kolis, Helen Kornhauser, Roman Kvicho, Fred Lieberman, Sam Margolis, Jane Meyer, Daria Naftulin, Talwin Nesselrode, Eliana Achatil, Harvey Pennick, John William Pilon, Norman Rosen, Morse Rosenblum, Jeffrey Sachs, Sarah Soroder, Sam Shabbat, Charles Schneer, David Schneer, Robin Bob Swartz, Miriam Silver, Lenny Simon, Irving Isidore Weinberg, and Phil Weinstein. In memory of all of them, I invite you to rise as we turn to page 598 and offer the words of the mourner's Kaddish in their memory. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'alma divrach erotei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayachon uvyomechon, uv'chayei jekol beit Yisrael, ba'gala uv'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mivarach le'olam olamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei jekudasha barichu le'ilam min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata damiram v'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'el kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom v'mromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru amen. Zikronam livracha, may their memories always be a blessing. And together we say, amen.
Oseh shalom, v'mromav, Yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. God, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, and with thanksgiving I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
Shabbat shalom, everyone. You may be seated for just a second because we have a few announcements of things that are coming up. And fortunately, Marla Schwartz, one of our temple presidents, is here to tell us a little bit about them.
Thank you. Shabbat shalom to everybody. Hi, everybody on Zoom and on Facebook, and everybody here in the sanctuary. Shabbat shalom from your board of directors. We're so happy to be able to celebrate this Shabbat together in whatever format we have. There's a few announcements that we want to share with you. They include next Friday, November 5th at 4 p.m. That's when the Half Pint Havara program will be starting again. I can validate that there are no half pints in here. That being said, listen to this information so you can share it with those who have the little ones, whether they be friends or relatives, grandbabies, whatever. This program runs monthly on the first Friday, and it's led by Cantor, Ilan, and is geared toward families with young children through second grade. You will welcome Shabbat together, bake challah, sing songs, and meet new friends. Please reach out to Cantor Ilan to be included in this Half Pint Havara, the Half Pint Havara emails. You say that after some Shabbat line, okay? Let's get real here. Please join us back here next Friday at 7 p.m. for our multi-access family Shabbat service. Our next artist, Beit Midrash, will take place Sunday, November 7th at 2 p.m. Our special guest this month is artist Vicky, I don't know how to say her middle name, Rakes, you think?
Rakes.
Fox. She's an artist, museum consultant, and educator who specializes in art and its relation to the Jewish experience. Everyone is welcome to join. We're excited to share that our TBE member, Chaplain Bonnie Leopold, will be teaching a course called Musar Moments, beginning Monday, November 8th at 6:30 p.m. Musar is a traditional Jewish path of spiritual development that leads to awareness, wisdom, and transformation. The class will meet weekly on Mondays on Zoom for 12 weeks, with every other week being a 1-hour study session with assigned partners. It's $54 per person, and scholarships are available. Translation, don't let money stand in your way from this wonderful opportunity. Please sign up through our finance office. Please also mark your calendar for Wednesday, November 10th at noon for our virtual Taos lecture with Rabbi Rachel Adler. Rabbi Adler will be speaking about her book entitled Tales of the Holy Mysticat, Jewish Wisdom Stories by a Feline Mystic. In being transparent, I must tell you, I'm not a cat person, but I bought her book, and I've read her book, and it's delightful. And it's wonderful if you have an opportunity to learn from this really impressive professor. She talks about this being a refreshingly humorous approach to Jewish text and life, reading her feline flatmate as if he is a page of the Talmud or Kabbalah. This is $18 for individuals, $36 for a household. Please make your payment again in the finance office. Translation contact Shoni. And finally, please join the Temple Beth Sisterhood for a champagne membership brunch on Sunday, November 14th at 9:30 a.m. at the home of Linda Belzer. This wonderful event is open to all women and friends. Not a sisterhood member? No problem. Come and nosh, drink champagne and schmooze, and please RSVP before November 7th to Linda Belzer. We can't let the evening go without acknowledging how blessed we all are to have the music by Bob, the singing by Cantor, Ilan. You know, I've learned in Torah study that Adonai is everywhere. So I get it. All the sanctuaries all over the country, all over the world, Adonai's, I suppose, listening. But there is just no better sound than what comes from the two of you that bring our prayers to God's ears. And I always say to myself, it can't get better. It's already good. I already enjoy it. I find the spiritual nourishment. It's always there. And guess what? Tonight was better than last week. And I thought last week was really good. So I'm so glad we could all share this. And aren't we blessed to have this remarkable Rabbi Cassi who teaches us all week long, every chance she gets, an opportunity like tonight to teach us something so powerful, so important, that we can use that teaching when, you know, there's a big bump in the road that we travel. So thank you so much for all that we get here. So again, from your board of directors, Shabbat Shalom, and from me, trick or treat.
Thank you so much, Marla, for all of those announcements. I'm losing my mic. There we go. And thank you so much, everyone who is here online, for all of our friends who are Zoomies as opposed to roomies. I don't remember where that came from, but I love it. It's not original to me. I take no credit for that whatsoever. But all of our Zoomies, I'm going to set up breakout rooms.
I've already got them set up, Rabbi. We're ready to go.
All right.
We're ready
Awesome.
to go when you are.
We are ready to go. So please go into those breakout rooms and enjoy some time with old friends and new ones. And for all of us here, Shabbat Shalom. It's been such a pleasure to be with every single one of you.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. ay, ay. Okay. Yeah, I hear ya. Shabbat shalom. How have you been? Hi. It's good to see you. It's good to see you. She's doing great. She couldn't have a better life.
Oh, wait, we are still live. I am closing the rooms because, yeah, there's just not very many people.